Shh, quiet. Boom! Atari Flashback 8 Gold Activision Edition. Would you look at that? Would you look at it? Would you look at that? 130 games. Sweet. HD. What? Pitfall. 40th anniversary. Some 2.4 gigahertz wireless controllers. Save, reset, rewind, all that wonderful stuff. 2 AAA batteries per controller not included. Damn it. The hell? Same information on the side. Plug into your TV. You cannot plug this into your ass and play it. It must be plugged into a TV, aight? So we got some more gold on the back. You know, not too bad. Bunch of games and many more. There's the other side of the box. AtGames. They really, you know, they do put their logo on the top there, but they do not put it on the face of the box. They're a little embarrassed. And then here's the Sega Genesis box for comparison's sake. Would you look at that? They're both the same size, same design, same layout. You know, keeping things uniform. Nice. Guess you can appreciate that. So, you know, just like the Genesis, this thing, you know, jiggles around a bit. So we're going to find out the contents of this treasure. Bam. Well. No packaging materials to be seen. That's okay. You know, some people said, hey, it's better for the environment. But, you know, they're still using this asbestos liner. So please, be careful. You have your poster here as well, just like the Sega Genesis. I'm actually going to frame these and put these up on my wall because I think these are very collectible posters. Pretty sweet. I mean, who the hell wants a poster for directions, you know? Might as well frame it and display that shit. I think it'll look nice on my wall. Probably put it right in front of me. And then here's our system. The Atari Flashback. This is the Activision edition, so she comes with a handful more games than the typical one. Got your controller ports. Can use your Atari craps or your Genesis on there, you know. This one's not scuffed up too much or anything, so that's not bad. You got some buttons up on here. They all, you know, press in and out. Power supply. No HDMI. This plugs into your TV wirelessly, I guess. You know, that's cool. Oh, wait, no, here it is. It's on the side. It's on the side. So power supply in the back, HDMI on the side. There you go. That's pretty reasonable. That works for me. Another cheap, awesome power supply. Sweet balls. And then here's our little joystick. Little double action going on here. Got to get the those fibers off of there. I think I already breathed some of them in, but it's all right. I think I'll be okay as long as I'm not exposed for too long. So the 2 controllers you get one with some buttons on the front and one without buttons on the front. The buttons on the front just pretty much mimic the buttons on the system. You know, make it easy for you so you don't have to actually press any buttons on the system other than power on and off. Then the second player controller, just the stick and the button. They feel okay. I don't have original Atari sticks to compare, but I know they're almost the same size. Pretty much the same form. They do take 2 AAA batteries, which you know how I feel about that. That's all right. So we're going to go ahead, put the Sega Genesis AtGames next to it, you know, for comparison's sake. They're both light pieces of crap, about the same size, but the Atari does not take cartridges where the Sega does. So there's we go. And then, you know, for size comparison, here's a tiny arcade. And, you know, for scale, we do have a pen, you know, so you can get a good idea. A AAA battery for scale. So there you go. Little Joy-Con. Bam. So you can get a good idea. don't know how to film and scale, you know what I mean? So here's a mini arcade. You get the idea. Let's plug this bitch in and try her out. Here we go. We have the AtGames logo booting up. We got our controller set up. We got our 2 AAAs plugged into the butt of this thing. You know, it took a screwdriver to open her up, put our batteries in there. Good to go. What? So taking a quick look, just like the Sega Genesis one, we have the little controller in the corner telling us what everything does. So just like the Sega Genesis version, we do have to use buttons to navigate the menu up and down. So this one we're using select and start. Now, I just want to say we have not reached a point in time in technological advancements to where user interfaces are intuitive to where they make sense to, you know, what we would expect. So we cannot blame AtGames for that misstep, because it really wasn't a misstep. It was a restriction. They're doing what they can with the technology that we have available at this time. It's unfortunate, but we have to deal with that. Using buttons to go up and down in the menu, just got to get used to it. No fault to AtGames. It is what it is. Deal with it or don't. Doesn't matter. One day, maybe, you know, some youngsters that are growing up now will be deep into this kind of stuff and they will figure that out, and we'll have our Flashback, you know, 26 gold 4K 20K edition where the menus can be navigated using the stick. So that might be sweet. It might be past my time on this earth, but hey, at least our kids will be able to enjoy that. So then, just to preface this system, there are multiple versions of this Atari Flashback, the Flashback 8 anyway. We have this version, the Activision edition, which has a handful more games than the 8 Gold HD edition. Obviously, they're going to be Activision games. And then there is the 8, you know, just the non-HD version that uses AV, you know, output, whatever, non-high definition. It is what it is. And then there is a deluxe edition that is pretty hard to find. I believe it might have been an online-only thing through AtGames. And that came with a couple paddles. So that was kind of sweet, but a little pricey. So this version will be widely available on the 28th of November for the manufacturer's suggested retail price of $79.99. But Walmart does have an exclusivity deal, some kind of thing they penned. I don't know that they have this early. I have not been able to find these units in Walmart stores around me, but they probably should be popping up, you know, any minute now. It might be there already. I don't know. But Walmart is selling these for $10 less, so $69.99, which is the same price as the normal 8 Gold HD. So if you're really looking for one, you know, Walmart's where you'll find this early anyway. So then the other difference with this versus previous Flashback editions is that previous Flashback editions were essentially, you know, kind of like collections, greatest hits types of things of Atari games. So they encompassed, you know, multiple Atari systems and whatnot, whereas this is only Atari 2600. So with Atari 2600, that's all you're getting. You're not getting any 7800 games. You're not getting any arcade conversions like previous installments of the AtGames Atari Flashback systems. So that's a little bummer. Now, for me, when I think Atari, the things that pop in my mind are like Frogger, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Space Invaders, stuff like that. You are not getting any of that on here. None of it. So turn the video off now if that's what you're looking for. It's not here. It's just not, unfortunately. You are getting hit with 130 games, hit and miss, crap. Not as bad of crap. You know, maybe smelly, really smelly, super stank. I don't know. But here's the deal. Everybody has an opinion. I have my own opinion. Doesn't matter. Opinions are not fact. But my feeling on Atari is that Atari does not stand the test of time. 2600 does not stand the test of time, mostly. A lot of these games have not aged well, to no fault of their own. It was a different time. It was essentially the beginning of home consoles and arcade games and stuff like that. So with it being a different time, graphically, a lot of these games are going to be very simple. Gameplay mechanics, very simple. Obviously, you just have one button, boom, 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 and a stick. That's enough, essentially, for a lot of these games. But like I said, graphically and whatnot, gameplay, a lot of these games are very simple. Now, back in the day, we played a lot of these games, and I grew up with this console. You played these games because they were arcade style games, or they were games that you played in the arcade and it was pretty sweet to play them at home. So a lot of them are score attack. You're trying to get a high score, bragging rights, whoop your friend's ass, and boom, I got a higher score than you, fool. That kind of thing. So that's what it was. Now, I don't think I pointed this out earlier in the video, but this box does state that you have to be 15 or older to play this system. So here's the deal with this. If you're an Atari person, you're over the age of 15, you grew up with this, you have some nostalgia for it, you love these games, you want to relive them, that's awesome. This might be the product for you if you do not have an original system at your disposal and you want to use, these controllers that are pretty similar to the originals. You can also plug in your original controllers, buy some originals, use the paddle controls, all that stuff. You can get those, plug these in, or use Sega Genesis controllers. They work on this system. But now say you did break the law and you gave this to a 12-year-old. Now, if your 12-year-old wasn't raised, to play just Atari games and not be exposed to anything else that is out there, or even, from a little earlier on, 90s, early 2000s, stuff like that, if you were to put this under the Christmas tree for your 12-year-old, you risk breaking the law. You might get arrested, 15 and older, that's it. But say your 12-year-old unwraps this thing, plugs it into the TV, and starts playing this. They're going to start crying. It is going to be a very sad Christmas indeed. Your kid is going to be like, Mommy, Daddy, I asked Santa Claus for a Nintendo Switch. What is this garbage? I don't want it. Wah. It's going to happen, guaranteed. So don't buy this for anybody under 15. And even if you buy it for somebody over 15, make sure they have that nostalgia for old school, late 70s, early 80s, arcade, Atari style games. Just a warning, you know what I mean? For me, a lot of these games do not hit it for me anymore. Now, I can play Pitfall. It's a great game on the Atari. It's one of the better games on this collection anyway. Some of these other ones that I've played in my recents, River Raid, stuff like that, people really dig. Frog Pond is kind of cool. But like I said, simple. They're high score type games. Millipede's pretty fun. I do, appreciate Centipede more than Millipede. Centipede is on here. Adventure 2, early style role-playing action type, game, but your character's a block, it's square. So kids these days are not going to appreciate that. I do appreciate these games in this system because it was essentially the beginning of where we are today. It shaped gaming history in a sense. So I have a strong appreciation for a lot of these. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of these games, but a lot of the ones I really loved are not on here, so I have to deal with that. Now, the way this is set up, gotta look at these stupid freaking buttons, man. So if you go into alphabetical, every single game on the system is going to be listed, and you can scroll left and right, go through your games. Now, if you go down, I don't know, is select down, is start down? What the frick, man? Atari games are just going to be your Atari games, and then you go down again. Activision games is just your Activision games. So going through alphabetical is everything like I said. Now, these controls, they do feel pretty good. Occasionally I get it to where I start the system and it's either not registering or something, and the stick won't register left and right, that kind of thing. And it just won't work, and I have to reset the system and it syncs back up or connects, and then it works fine. It's happened a couple times. I have been playing this for a few hours, but I don't know. Maybe it's because when I turned it on, the controller wasn't right next to the system. It's a possibility. Now, the other thing that I have noticed is I do get some weird glitching in some of these games. So let's open up Centipede. You'll press the fire button to open that bad boy up. Now, before we get into the game, unlike the Sega Genesis version of this, the Sega Genesis, you can go left and right and scroll through the games in this menu with all the information there. This one, you cannot do that. You have to press, back, left to go back to the game select and then get the information for whatever game you're looking for. This one, if you press right, the little star highlights, and that's added to your favorites. If you press it again, it takes it off. If you go down and up, it does scroll through the instructions and, the description of the game. Cool, I guess. Press the fire button, get you into the game. So The other thing with this, the box says it has save, resume, and all that. There is no menus on the system once you're in the game. Every one of these buttons on the controller or on the system does something like setting difficulty, starting the game, that kind of thing. There's nothing that I have found. Maybe I'm a freaking idiot, but I don't see anything like the Sega Genesis where there's a menu where you can do save states or scan lines, stuff like that. I can't figure it out. I've pressed every button within these games and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't say anything about having those features anyway in the manual, but on the box it describes the system just like the Sega Genesis one does. So, save states, stuff like that, I don't think you really need that in Atari games, but I just wanted to point that out. I have not been able to figure that out if it is a feature that's available in the system. So on the system, you do have your difficulty. You can go hard, easy, player 1 and 2. System does say left and right difficulty, so you can go ahead and do that. And then your controller, depending upon the game, select and start. Select may set up the game, in a specific way. Start typically starts the game. Then here you are, Centipede, some high definition squares. Still pretty fun, not arcade perfect, but if you had this back in the day, you know what's up. I remember playing this game quite a bit on the Atari, and I did love it. The controls are very responsive, no lag, no input lag that I have noticed anyway. But just like the Sega Genesis, in the menu, pressing the buttons to go up and down, it does have some lag. Just this system's just the same, but in the games I don't notice any of that at all. And this game's not a good one to show the graphical glitch that I'm talking about, but in a lot of the games that I have played, if it's a lighter background, you'll get some black lines that pop up, horizontal, and they just randomly appear throughout the game. So I'll see if I can replicate that, but if you press reset on the controller, it takes you back. And like I said, I cannot figure out if there is a menu option at all, but let's find something else to see if I can highlight that glitch from this AtGames Atari 2600 setup. Go into Pitfall. I'm pretty sure Pitfall you will see the glitch that I'm talking about. So I'm already seeing it, and I know it shows up in my recording, even though I can't see my recording at the moment. But occasionally there will be a black line that pops up. Now, this is not from my capture card. This is not from my TV, because I have tried it on multiple TVs, and I have tried it with and without the capture card, and it shows up on any TV I have used. It's not glaring. I'm pretty sure the original Atari games didn't do that. I could be wrong. Maybe they did, but I don't see the reason why. But here, and I notice it's a lot of times when I'm pressing a button, it's like it'll cause some kind of interference, and the screen will have that little, it's so tiny you might not even see it, but it is there. So, I don't want to go through every single game here, but like I said, a lot of the classics you're looking for are not going to be on here, but they have not been on most of the Flashback systems to begin with. That nostalgia for old school retro gaming is big right now, so people will buy this system regardless of what I say or anybody else says, so that is up to you. I just wanted to highlight the product, give you my impressions, let you know how I feel. They do have Sword Quest on here. I thought you had to have the booklet for them to play them, or you just don't know what the heck you're doing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you do. But there you go, just kind of scrolling through. There's some cool games. Asteroids is pretty cool. Not arcade perfect, but still pretty fun. So for me, I'm more excited to have the Sega Genesis AtGames than I am this Atari one. It is kind of cool to have, but we do have other options to play these games and to play the classics we actually want to play. If you wanted to gut this system and put a pie in it, it's a little pricey to do that. But if you were to do it, you'd probably have a lot better system of games. And so there's that. Appreciate you guys stopping in, checking this shit out. Smash that like button if you could. I'm getting tired, man. It's getting late for me. I've been up too much, man. Got a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. I do have a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I have a video. You can check that out. Enter that giveaway. A lot of cool stuff. Super Nintendo Classic Edition being given away. Bunch of sweetness. So smash it, like it, squish it, whatever. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys. Have fun. Merry Christmas, Happy Halloween, whatever the hell's going on out there. And I will catch y'all next time.